Former teachers, front and center, Mr. Jim Cahill. And would John Husson please come forward?
Well, here we are. Poignant moment indeed. A few little words for a truly great man. I'm going to look at this thing and wing it and read it. But someone who typifies the best of this remarkable school and is about to retire and leave us after 43 years, remarks of some kind can be futile indeed. You can't say everything you need to say. But in the case of Jim, it's a pleasure and indeed a joy to try. And so tonight we honor Jim Cahill, true scholar, Irish gentleman, and our friend. Jim is a delightful combination of Johnny Carson, the great lyricist Cole Porter, and Hamlet. Jim has been hanging out all these years in the House of Mirth, which is really the St. Xavier English Department, where the satire and the wit crackles like summer lightning. And all of us, Jim indeed is the witmeister, whose humorous insights are the driest, the quietest, and the most profound. Now, there are a lot of egos loose in this department, and that's okay. I'm one of them. I'm as guilty as anybody. But you gotta have egos in an English department. It goes with the territory. These independent thinkers, these people, it makes it necessary. But the thing that I noticed most, that never did Jim have a flicker of self-importance issuing from him at any time. He was a considerate, judicious man in the corner of the office. Now, how Jim got to that corner is a little miracle in itself. Those many years ago, 43 for crying out loud, when I was the chair, we had a problem. A veteran teacher of senior English, AP, bowed out at mid-year. Couldn't hack it. What were we to do? We needed somebody quickly. We turned in our need to a man who loved St. X, a man who when he taught the AP course of seniors here in this building, in his spare time, because he was chair of the department at XU at the time, was probably the greatest English teacher ever to walk the halls of this institution. And I'm talking about Tom Savage, SJ. So Sav, we asked, he said, what can we do? Sav said, I got just the guy. He's a grad student teaching for me. And so Jim was called up from AAA, which was XU, to the big league. Like Willie Mays being called up to the Giants late in that season when he was a young kid. And the rest is history. And Jim has patrolled center field for us for 43 years, catching errant essays and long-headed interpretations of literature, all with grace and skill like a great center fielder should. Well, history for Jim, of course, as you know, has centered chiefly on the Bard, on Shakespeare. He and I often discuss the fact that Shakespeare was not really human, that he came from a galaxy far beyond, that he was an alien. I mean, no playwright ever wrote histories and tragedies and comedies, knocked out 154 sonnets, wrote longer poems, and then had the grace to die young at 52 and leave a great heritage behind uncompleted. Jim brought into life for generations of students. Well, now, and this is short, I'm going to make it short. As Jim is about to leave us, memories come floating back. For me, they range from his delightful asymmetrical imitation of Elio Chacon, the red shortstop playing softball for our faculty team. Jim who was left, which is a rare thing, was an experience. Okay. also, I remember a time that Joan and I sat on the roof of his garage one summer night with him and Diane and got pleasantly sloshed. And these are the things that one remembers. I hope we can again find time to park at the Moon together, because actually that's what retirement is all about. And so basically, Jim's going to take that long walk down that long hall through those double doors, not into a kind of general oblivion, which maybe some of us will go into later, but rather a walk through Diane, to the grandchildren, to the Maine woods, and to Will Shakespeare. A wonderful combination when you think about it. And so let us say our goodbyes by paraphrasing the bard. Farewell, sweet prince, and at flights of grateful students and loving colleagues, sing thee to thy rest, and let the good times roll.
On behalf of the St. X Faculty Association, I'd like to present you this plaque, which recognizes your 43 years of dedication to education at St. Xavier High School. We thank you for the inspiration you have given to your students and your colleagues through that time.
Let the good times roll, huh, Johnny? I'm not Bob the Builder. I'm Jim the dumbass teacher. Where is Dan Hogan? If I'd known about that change in the structure, Dan, I'd be back next week. Thanks a lot. Truth be told, I'm not real comfortable in situations like this. So I'd really appreciate it if 3 or 4 of you would start to nod off. Over the next couple of minutes, I'll feel a lot more at home. Clapp and Wilkins are starting to fade. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. There goes Eddie Piggott. Thanks, Father. You've always been there for me. Well, I'm going to be brief. We'll head you home by about the 8th inning. Thank you, John, for your very kind words. John and I, of course, go back a long way. I'm not sure that everything he said was quite truthful. It is true he was chair of the English department in the spring of 1969 when I was interviewed for a full-time teaching position. That sounds like a long time ago because it is. So I interviewed with John, and I've always been very grateful to Father Ed Smith, who was the principal at the time, because he overrode John's recommendation. I used to harbor a real resentment about that, John, but I managed to let it go, and I replaced it with a resentment about a lot of the things you've said tonight. It'll give me something to do in my declining years. I've been I've been at St. X for 49 years, actually. That's counting my 6 years as a student. You know you've been around for a long time when one of your former students has been your principal for 19 years. And when another of your former students has served as president for 10 years, and that was 2 presidents ago. Obviously, I could talk for hours about my experiences over that period of time, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. The cafeteria doors have been locked, so you can forget about any possibility of escape. Actually, I will be brief, and I have only a couple of things to say. I don't know how you feel, but I have always thought that the spouses and families of teachers are called upon to make certain sacrifices. I certainly don't mean to suggest that other professionals don't take work home with them, but I doubt that they do in the same amount or as consistently as teachers do. And so with that in mind, I would like to thank my wife, Diane, and my children who are present tonight, Trace and Jim and Laura, for their understanding and patience and support for all these years. I really appreciated that. And I have very good news for Laura, particularly. I will have those training wheels on your bike. Talk about having the good times roll. Another quick word. I want to go back to Dan Hogan again. I was not one of the guys, Dan, whose ring you notice on his finger, and I thought those rings were kind of nice, actually. I didn't find them unattractive. Anyway, that's not the point. It wasn't on my finger because I had given it to my hot girlfriend. Who is now my hot wife. She keeps it under her pillow. So you must have been dealing with all the geeks over there. Second, or whatever we're on. This isn't working out to be the 5-paragraph theme I structured. I would like to say a word about my esteemed colleagues, and I'm certainly not kidding about that. I have never worked in another high school, and so I can't make any comparisons based upon first-hand experience. And as someone once said, comparisons are odious. So let me just say this. I cannot imagine a group of people, and I say people because I mean to include all who work in this school, who are more competent, more dedicated, more caring and generous than the folks that I have worked with for so many years. Both those who are currently here and those who have gone before, so many of whom are here seated. What a privilege it has been to be included in your number. I did not find it easy to decide to retire. There will be many people, so many people, and so many things that I will miss. but the time seems to be right. In departing, let me thank you once again for your colleagueship, your friendship, your support, and your care over all these years. Thanks for all the wonderful memories. Keep up the good work. I know you will. Thank you very much.
This for you. I dare not say anything more. Good night.
Now we're gonna do interviews.
Oh my God!
Okay, I'm gonna stop.